We booked a room in Salem for 3 days of exploring Salem's haunted happenings. It's a month-long celebration in Salem, just 150 miles from home.
Go ahead and place that on silent. It would be greatly appreciated. We will have actors on the stage here today. We just don't want them to become disturbed during such. Now, we do allow photography. Flash is fine. However, we do not allow any type of video or audio recording. If you can please keep those rules in mind, we do thank you, because that's pretty much it just for now. All right. Allow to set the scene.
2 weeks ago, my husband and I were accused by children who claimed we signed covenants with the devil. So you're shackled and thrown in Salem dungeon, where we have endured much suffering, but neighbors, you know me. I have always been a good woman. I am faithful to our covenant.
Doctor, if you confess now, you can still save yourself.
Mary, have you come to speak against me?
Aye.
This cannot be. I would not believe them when they told me it was you who accused me.
Mistress, I mean you no harm. Truly, I do not, but I am afraid, and I must come forward.
Mary, mind. You do not realize the seriousness of what you say. You do this all for sport.
She wishes to silence me, but I will speak.
Do. And tell us, when have I heard thee?
Many times.
Nonsense.
Once she squeezed my stomach so hard that blood gushed from my mouth.
That is a grievous lie.
Goody Proctor, can you tell us about the yellow bird that follows you about?
Anne, I have no bird.
You have no bird?
No.
But I have seen one. I saw it feeding between her long finger and forefinger. I have seen her wrap this witchcraft.
This is mischievous and troublesome. Not a word of this is true.
Troublesome? Goody Proctor, was it not you who took my cat and I flying through the air to a witches' meeting?
Liar. How dare you accuse me of such evil? I am a God-fearing woman.
Yes, you have always been God-fearing. If you be so blameless, you could prove it if you would say for us the Lord's Prayer.
Mary is greatly troubled. In the years she lived with John and I, she caused many difficulties to girls. Think on what you say here.
Mistress, do you fear to say the prayer for fear that you will fail?
Are you not afraid to pray?
Then pray. Recite the prayer and let it be without an error.
I shall. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Here. She takes our Lord's name to be hallowed, not hallowed as we know it to be. That's a sure sign of witchcraft.
Please, if I make a small error, it is because I have not been well.
Mary, did you not see her in the woods at night? Yes, tell
As we go to the woods, as we all must together, firewood and herbs, there is no shame in that.
She went there to meet someone.
No.
I saw her with a very tall man. He was a stranger to us, dressed all in black, and he had the most fearful countenance.
Not so.
And even as I observed them, I began to feel the sticking of pins, and then malicious fingers tearing at my flesh.
It's not true.
My body trembled so that I fell to the ground, and I could not breathe or call for help. And when I looked again, she and her devil had vanished.
Mary, this is all of your imagining.
I did not imagine that book.
Book? I know not of what book you speak.
You know very well it is the devil's book.
I can listen to this no more. Can you not see that this is madness? A plague has fallen on Salem and you all sit there in silence. You listen as though you believe them. If these girls are allowed to continue, we shall all be named as devils and witches quickly. Today I am wrongly accused and I know I shall not be the last. Tomorrow could be you, perhaps. Maybe you.
She can afflict you as well. She is in league with the devil. I saw her sign the devil's book myself.
Please stop this. How can you say these things? You know they are not true. You lived with us. We took you in as family. I take God in heaven as my witness. I never hurt thee. I never hurt anyone.
Mary, tell them.
Tell them now.
I will speak. And I am sorry for it. I truly am sorry, but I'm... Goody Proctor, she did come to me. And she presented me with a red book and a black pen, and she told me that if I would but set my hand to the devil's book, then I should be well.
If no one in Salem will speak on my behalf, you will see. It'll be your silence that condemns me.
There. Oh, upon that beam, do you not see it? It is Goody Proctor's yellow bird.
But there's nothing better.
She brings it here today to torment me.
Girls.
Mistress, please call it off. I'm sorry for it. No! She makes me suffer, and I have suffered long enough. Goody Proctor, you be guilty.
No.
You be a witch. You shall be taken into the dungeon, and you shall be hanged.
I am not tormenting them. Perhaps someone else does, but 'tis not I.
And him, your devil from the woods. Oh, God, protect us. She has brought the devil himself upon Salem.
No, I'm innocent. I am no witch. Mary, what hast thou done?
Watch your step as you enter, and as soon as you do so, you can feel free to start walking around.
That's right.
Alright, everyone just watch your step as you enter the room.
Thought she was real. Is she real?
No.
Wait for her to turn around and grab you or something. Oh dear. You're just hanging around.
It's gonna be a good haunted house.
It would be a great haunted house.
good, but no, you've done this show, and it's a good one.
Put away anything that makes light or sound, any sort of electronic device or anything like that. Even a little bit of light can disrupt the darkness and ruin some of the special effects. And we want you to have the best show that you possibly can, so please put those things away. So put those things away. We do use special effects in this show, such as stage fog and some other elements. Some of these are going to make their way out into the audience. They're all non-toxic.
Welcome, fools. So, you've come to learn of witches and ghosts, eh? Well, we wouldn't want to disappoint you. Let us begin with a spell. By the privilege of my love, something wicked this may come!
Witches, ghosts, phantoms, are they real, or just the figments of wild imagination? Here in New England, with its quiet towns and rolling hills, tales of witchcraft and of the dead returning to haunt the living are in abundance. Salem had its share of ghost stories even before the first settlers arrived. The Native Americans who lived in this area believed in the supernatural and were afraid of the dark. The surrounding woods were said to be filled with demons and unseen creatures of the night waiting in the darkness. One of them was a terrifying creature known as the Awamacho, lingering in the darkness of the trees, waiting to carry off unsuspecting victims and devour them. The Algonquin Indians would not venture out alone after dark for fear of this terrible demon. The early New England settlers would soon encounter demons of their own, demons in the form of witchcraft. In 1692, the Salem Puritans believed that the devil was very real and lurked in the woods. He was often described as the man in black, wearing a high-crowned hat. He was waiting for you to make a pact with him and sign his black book. Once this was done, your soul belonged to him in exchange for supernatural powers, and you became a witch. Fear, superstition, and mass hysteria led to the largest outbreak of alleged witchcraft in America. 19 people were formally convicted of practicing witchcraft and were executed by hanging. One man was pressed to death. The courthouse in which the trials were held was on Washington Street, just outside this theater. Many of the victims of 1692 were condemned on the basis of evidence offered by people who were once friends and neighbors. Most of those who were executed were found guilty on the basis of spectral evidence. There were tales of flying demons, strange people.
Well, the way I see it, the fate of Alice Parker was sealed by my testimony. You see, Alice Parker's husband, John, used to frequent a tavern located over on St. Peter's Street, less than a mile from here. One night, Alice Parker comes into the tavern, starts yelling at her husband for not being home, and I scolded her. I scolded her for doing so. She looked at me and she said, "You mind your business, John Westgate. You'll find yourself in trouble." One dark night after that incident, I was walking home along Essex Street with my dog. I soon came upon Salem Common. He pursued me. I slipped and fell. My dagger drove into my hip. Blood flowed down my wounded leg. It was all the strength that I could muster to pull myself to my feet. I dragged myself along the fence of the common towards home. Once there, I went through my front yard. I bolted my door. I looked out the window, but the creature vanished. Well, next day, swore out a complaint against Alice Parker for witchcraft, saying that that evil beast must have been sent to do her bidding, terrorizing me like that. It was my testimony sent Alice Parker to her death.
Believed that this screeching creature was indeed the Dogtown Witch. They began to fire upon the crow with their muskets, but every bullet seemed to pass right through. Remembering that only silver could kill a witch, they forged a bullet out of an old copa, loaded it into their muskets, and fired and shot the crow, hitting it in the leg. It was off screaming before they could kill it and disappeared, but when they returned to Gloucester, they found the old witch had died of a leg wound she received in a fall. They took her body and
Out there on Washington Street, though, we'll tell you where it is. About 2 blocks or so that way is where the Salem jail stood, also no longer there. That's where Giles Corey was pressed to death outside of there.